A passenger train on a newly opened high-speed Amtrak route jumped the tracks on an overpass south of Tacoma on Monday, slamming rail cars into a busy highway, killing at least 6 people and injuring more than 75 others. The derailment of Amtrak Train No. 501, making the inaugural run of a new service from Seattle to Portland, dropped a 132-ton locomotive in the southbound lanes of the Northwest's busiest travel corridor. 2 passenger coaches also fell partly in the traffic lanes, and 2 other coaches were left dangling off the bridge, one of them wedged against a tractor-trailer. On the highway below lay 5 crumpled cars and 2 semi-trucks, and huge chunks of concrete that were ripped away from the damaged overpass. All 12 of the train's coaches and one of its 2 engines derailed. The National Transportation Safety Board dispatched an investigative team to the scene. "It felt like the end of the world and I was standing amid the wreckage," said Emma Schaefer, 20, a modern dance student who was napping aboard the train with her shoes off when it derailed. She found herself in a coach dangling at a steep angle toward the highway, the man behind her yelling. His legs pinned while a parent trapped with a baby in a restroom banged on the door for help getting out. The crash, at 7:33 a.m. and about midway between Tacoma and Olympia, killed at least 6 people, according to a federal official briefed on the crash. But investigators are still going through the wreckage and could not say for certain how many people have died. It appears that all of the fatalities are contained in the rail cars that went into the woods, said Detective Ed Troyer, a spokesman for the Pierce County Sheriff's Department, adding that rescue workers were using chainsaws to try to reach victims in those cars. Chief Franciscan Health, a regional hospital network, said that more than 75 people were transported to nearby hospitals, including 4 who were classified level red, reflecting the most severe injuries. Some of those injured were in vehicles on the highway and not on the train. The train carried 77 passengers and 7 crew members, said Gay Banks Olson, Assistant Superintendent of Northwest Operations for Amtrak. President Trump wrote on Twitter that the crash on Amtrak's Cascades service showed the need for increased infrastructure spending. In reality, the train and the line it traveled on were the products of just such investment. Backed by the state of Washington, Sound Transit, the regional transit agency, used $180 million from the 2009 federal stimulus package to buy an old 14.5-mile stretch of track and upgrade it for high-speed passenger service. The project, known as the Point Defiance Bypass, was devised to allow Cascades trains to stop using a more roundabout route that they shared with freight trains, making for faster, more reliable travel. The state also spent $58 million from the stimulus bill on 8 new locomotives, specifically for that service. The Cascades service embodies the complex, overlapping responsibilities on many of the nation's rail lines. Officials said the service is owned by the states of Washington and Oregon and operated by Amtrak, whereas the Point Defiance Bypass track is owned by Sound Transit, a regional transit agency, and dispatched by BNSF, the freight company that used to own the line. Yeah.